The billionaire CEO didn't even look at the man standing in oil-stained boots before tossing a single $100 bill onto the polished airport floor. The note fluttered through the air before landing at the exhausted mechanic's feet like an insult disguised as charity. Hundreds of executives, engineers, reporters, and airport staff watched in complete silence as she smiled confidently and announced a $10 million bet that the poor single father couldn't make her grounded private jet fly. Most people expected the mechanic to quietly pick up the money and walk away. Instead, he slowly bent down, picked up the bill, folded it carefully into his shirt pocket, looked toward the silent aircraft shimmering beneath the bright afternoon sun, and calmly walked toward it. Exactly 7 minutes later, the impossible happened. The engines exploded to life with a thunderous roar that echoed across the runway, leaving every witness speechless and proving that true greatness is never measured by wealth, but by character, experience, and heart. Before this unforgettable story begins, if you believe kindness deserves a second chance and that humble people often carry the greatest strength, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Dad's Soul Diary so you never miss another emotional journey about fathers, sacrifice, and extraordinary acts of compassion. Morning sunlight poured across the massive runways of Falcon Ridge International Airport, where private jets gleamed beneath cloudless blue skies. Luxury vehicles lined the executive terminal while business leaders hurried toward waiting aircraft worth more than most neighborhoods. Every minute inside the terminal carried enormous financial value. Delayed flights meant missed meetings, broken contracts, and millions of dollars at risk. Far from the elegant lounges stood a quiet maintenance hangar where a man named Callum Vance tightened bolts beneath the wing of an aging service aircraft. His hands moved with calm confidence earned through nearly 3 decades of experience. Every scratch on his fingers told the story of thousands of repairs completed without recognition. Every stain on his uniform represented honest work performed long before sunrise while others still slept. Outside the airport, another life depended entirely upon those hard-working hands. Callum was raising his 8-year-old son, Rowan, alone. 3 years earlier, his wife, Serena, had passed away after a sudden illness that left both father and son struggling to understand how life could change so quickly. Since then every morning began with Callum preparing breakfast, helping Rowan pack his school bag, tying shoes that somehow always came untied again, and reminding his little boy that his mother would forever remain proud of the kindness growing inside him. Money remained painfully tight. Callum often skipped lunch so Rowan could enjoy healthy meals. He repaired neighbors' lawnmowers on weekends for extra income. At night, after Rowan fell asleep, Callum quietly studied aircraft maintenance manuals because he believed there was always something new to learn. He never complained. He simply kept moving forward. That same morning, Falcon Ridge prepared for the arrival of one of the country's most influential business leaders. Her name was Vivian Cross. Founder and CEO of Cross Horizon Technologies, she had built a billion-dollar aerospace empire through relentless determination and uncompromising standards. Investors admired her brilliance. Competitors feared her negotiation skills. Employees respected her intelligence but often struggled beneath the weight of impossible expectations. Vivian trusted results. Not excuses. Not emotions. Results. Her newest private jet, a revolutionary executive aircraft equipped with cutting-edge technology, awaited departure for an international investment summit. Hundreds of millions of dollars depended upon arriving on time. Everything appeared perfect. Until the engines refused to start. Within minutes the airport transformed into controlled chaos. Elite engineers connected diagnostic computers. Software specialists examined flight systems. Manufacturer representatives joined emergency conference calls. Every test reported normal conditions. Every component appeared operational. Yet the aircraft remained silent. Hour after hour slipped away beneath the brilliant daylight. Investors grew impatient. News helicopters circled overhead. Financial networks began reporting possible mechanical failure involving one of the world's most advanced executive jets. Vivian's frustration became impossible to hide. While rushing between technicians, she noticed Callum quietly repairing another aircraft nearby. Believing every mechanic simply wanted an opportunity to impress wealthy executives, she sarcastically asked whether he thought he could accomplish what international engineering teams could not. Several employees laughed. Callum politely explained he had not examined the aircraft and therefore could promise nothing. Vivian interpreted humility as weakness. With cameras recording nearby, she casually tossed $100 toward him and suggested he buy himself dinner instead of pretending he belonged anywhere near her jet. Then, almost playfully, she announced that if he somehow started the aircraft, she would donate $10 million to any charity he chose. Everyone smiled. They believed the challenge impossible. Callum quietly picked up the money. Not because he accepted humiliation. Because his father had once taught him never to leave money lying on the ground, regardless of who dropped it. He folded the bill carefully into his pocket. Then respectfully requested 7 uninterrupted minutes. Curiosity spread throughout the runway. Vivian agreed, expecting entertainment more than success. Callum slowly walked around the aircraft. He never rushed. He observed sunlight reflecting across polished metal. He listened to tiny electrical clicks others ignored. He touched access panels with gentle familiarity. Instead of immediately opening computers, he trusted experience first. Years earlier he had worked alongside older mechanics who believed every machine communicated differently if someone remained patient enough to notice. Near the rear service compartment, Callum paused. He noticed something almost invisible. A recently replaced vibration sensor had been mounted using updated factory specifications. Perfect according to digital measurements. Yet slightly too rigid for that specific airframe after prolonged heat exposure beneath direct sunlight. The sensor transmitted microscopic false vibration readings during startup. The onboard protection system interpreted them as engine instability. Computers automatically canceled ignition before pilots ever noticed. Every expensive diagnostic system confirmed normal operation because technically nothing had failed. Only experience revealed the truth. Callum carefully adjusted the mounting pressure. Less than 1 full turn. No replacement parts. No expensive equipment. Just understanding. He closed the panel. Stepped back. Nodded toward the flight crew. The startup sequence began. Fuel pumps activated. Electrical systems synchronized. For several breathtaking seconds, absolute silence filled the runway. Then, ignition. One engine awakened. Moments later the second joined. The magnificent aircraft thundered to life beneath the bright afternoon sky. Cheers erupted across the terminal. Airport workers applauded. Even seasoned pilots smiled in disbelief. Vivian remained completely motionless. Not because she lost a bet. Because something inside her had quietly broken. Pride. She slowly approached Callum. For the first time that day, she noticed details beyond his worn uniform. The repaired boots. The faded wedding ring still hanging from a chain around his neck. The carefully folded lunchbox resting inside his toolbox. She asked why he had accepted such disrespect without anger. Callum simply explained that raising a child alone taught him something important. Every minute spent arguing became one less minute available to build a better tomorrow. Bitterness never repaired broken things. Patience often did. Those words stayed with Vivian long after the aircraft departed. She quietly investigated Callum's employment history. What she discovered surprised everyone.